Good morning, dear learners. Myself Nikhil Amnerkar, and today we'll study the topic Blood Part 2. The following are the e-content committee members. Learning outcomes. On completion of the topic, the learners would be able to recognize the difference between bleeding time and clotting time, understand the basic concepts of blood coagulation and its mechanism, study factors influencing blood coagulation, recognize blood group matching and its compatibility, and know the disorders of the blood. In continuation with our previous part 1, we'll now study the difference between bleeding time and clotting time. Bleeding time. It is the time interval between moment at which the blood starts bleeding to the moment it exactly stops. Whereas clotting time, it is the time interval between the moment at which blood escapes from the vessel to the moment clot is formed. Normal value of bleeding time is 1 to 3 minutes, whereas for the clotting time, normal value is 2 to 8 minutes. Method of estimation of bleeding time is Duke's method, whereas method of estimation of clotting time is Wright's capillary method. Now, let us study the blood coagulation. When there is an injury to the blood vessel, blood comes out and within few minutes it loses its fluidity and forms a red colored semi-solid jelly-like mass that is clot. This process is known as blood coagulation or blood clotting. Now, we'll move on to study the mechanism of blood coagulation. Step 1. Injury to the blood vessel leads to the formation of a rough surface. The platelets, when comes in contact with a rough surface, they are ruptured and thromboplastin is released. It is also released by damaged tissues. This thromboplastin in the presence of calcium converts inactive prothrombin present in the blood into active thrombin. You can see the following reaction. Next, step 2. The active thrombin converts inactive fibrinogen into insoluble fibrin threads which forms a network-like structure. Now, the last step 3. In the holes of this network of these fibrin threads, the blood cells get entangled to form a red-colored semi-solid jelly-like mass that is clot. Thus, the process of blood coagulation completes. Now we'll move on to the factors affecting blood coagulation. Firstly, we'll study the factors that increases the blood coagulation. The factors are snake venom, resting condition, very slow blood flow, presence of calcium salt, temperature slightly excess than the body temperature, contact of blood with rough surface and injury to blood thrombocytes. Next, we will study factors that are decreasing the blood coagulation. Removal of calcium ions from blood by adding sodium, potassium and citrate ions. Presence of greasy material like oil, wax or grease. Calcium deficiency in the blood. Contact with smooth surface. Lowering body temperature. Deficiency of vitamin K and heparin. Reflection spot. Is it necessary to check individual's blood group before blood transfusion? Think on this question and write the answer in your book. Considering that you have completed your writing, let us move further. Blood groups. ABO blood group system was discovered by Karl Landster in 1900s. A blood type is a classification of blood based on the presence and absence of antibodies and inherited antigenic substances on the surface of RBC. These antigens may be proteins, carbohydrates, glycoproteins or glycolipids depending on the blood group system. There are four main blood groups or four types of blood groups: A, B, AB, and O. Each group can be either Rh positive or Rh negative, which means in total there are 8 blood groups. Now let us study the compatibility of blood. People have different blood types and transfusion of incompatible blood can be fatal. If incompatible blood is transfused, then agglutination of erythrocytes occurs that leads to hemolysis of transfused blood cells, that is breakdown of RBC. Therefore, Rh positive blood is not given to Rh negative person. Members of RBCs contain antigens called agglutinogens, and people have natural antibodies in the plasma known as agglutinins. The agglutinogens are genetically determined and are of two types, that is A and B. The agglutinins in the plasma are of opposite types. See the following table. Next, we'll study the matching of blood. In the left side, you can see the donors, whereas on the right side, you can see the recipients. Blood group O can donate RBC to anybody. It's the universal donor. It can donate the blood to the blood people having blood group O, A, B, and AB. Group A can donate RBC to A or AB. Group B can donate RBC to B and AB, whereas Group AB can donate to other AB only, but it can receive from all blood groups. Hence, it is called as universal acceptor. Now, we'll study the most important, that is Rh factor. Scientists sometimes study rhesus monkeys to learn more about the human anatomy because there are certain similarities between the two species. While studying rhesus monkeys, a certain blood protein was discovered. This protein is also present in the blood of 80 to 90% of the people and are called Rh antigen or rhesus factor. If the blood contains the protein, the blood is said to be Rh positive. If the blood does not contain the protein, the blood is called Rh negative. Now, we'll study erythropoiesis or hematopoiesis. It is nothing but the process of blood cell production. All the form elements derived from stem cells. Stem cells are developed into poroerythroblast, myeloblast, lymphoblast, monoblast, and megakaryoblast. Proerythroblast develop into RBC. Myeloblasts develop into basophils, neutrophils, and eosinophils, whereas lymphoblasts develop into lymphocytes. Monoblasts develop into monocytes, and megakaryoblast develop into platelets. Now the process of stimulation of RBC production. Whenever there is a decreased blood oxygen, and hormone is released which stimulate the RBC production, that is called erythropoietin. It stimulates the production of RBC from the red bone marrow, which helps to increase RBC production and thereby increase the blood oxygen. Now we'll see the normal values of RBCs, WBCs, platelets, and hemoglobin. In males, the RBC counts to be 5 to 5.5 millions per millimeter cube of blood, whereas in female it counts 4.5 to 5 million per millimeter cube of blood. WBC counts to 6,000 to 10,000 millimeter cube of blood, whereas platelets counts to be 3 to 4 lakhs per millimeter cube of blood. Hemoglobin in male is around 14 to 18 gram per 100 ml of blood, whereas in females it is 12 to 16 grams per 100 ml of blood. Now I'll study some short terms. Thrombosis. Thrombosis is a process of formation of blood clot inside the blood vessel. Embolism, it is a process of formation of embolus. That means em means in and bolus is mass inside the bloodstream. Phagocytosis. It is the process in which the cell engulfs or ingests the microbe, foreign particles and digests or destroy them. Then we'll study hemolysis is nothing but the breakdown of RBC. Fibrinolysis, it is the process of breakdown of fibrin thread within the clot. Let us now study the disorders of blood. Polycythemia. Abnormal increase in the RBC count in the blood is called polycythemia. Decrease in the RBC count in the blood is called anemia. Now regarding the WBC, uncontrolled increase in the production of WBC in the blood is called leukemia, whereas decrease in the number of WBCs below 4000 per millimeter cube of blood is called leukocytopenia. Continuous bleeding of blood, even with minor injury or a cut, is called hemophilia. Erythroblastosis fetalis. It is a disorder which occurs when the mother is Rh negative and the fetus is Rh positive. The Rh positive antigens of the fetus enters into the mother's bloodstream via the placenta during the first pregnancy. In the meantime, the mother's blood forms the anti-Rh antibodies. During the second pregnancy, if the fetus is Rh positive, these antibodies cause the lysis of the fetus blood, thereby causing the death of the fetus. This disorder is called as erythroblastosis fetalis. Thank you for your patience and listening the presentation.